Welcome to another episode of the Banner Report podcast, starring Cody Adams and Steve Crowley. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Banner Report podcast, starring your hosts, me, Cody Adams, Steve Crowley in the middle there, and Jacob Pierce on the right. We are coming to you live on November 3rd, 2024, as Steve gets uncomfortably close to the camera. The reigning champs, stop. Please, there's children. The reigning champs.
Hopefully not.
They're 6-1, boys. They're 6-1 to start the new year. They're defending the championship year.
Attacking the championship.
And boy, does it look like they're poised to go again for another one. Not to jinx them, but where do we want to begin? Do we want to go down on the 6-1 start? Let's do that. What are our first takes here regarding the 2 weeks we played? Last 2 weeks we played.
It doesn't look like we've lost a step since last year, which is kind of understandable when you bring the whole fucking team back. But even like with Porzingis being out, and now you have Cornette and Al having to eat up all those minutes, this team still looks great. Like, you're still killing it every night. You're playing the right way for the most part. There's been one or two games where you haven't, where it's a couple quarters, but this team right now, we're not playing for the regular season. We're playing for the playoffs. Like, if we drop a couple games, we don't really care. Like, we're not going to overexert ourselves trying to win those games to get a high seed. Like, we win like 75% of our games in the playoffs on the road anyways. So, like, we don't care about playing in other cities. We're a veteran team. Like, it doesn't matter to us.
Yeah, I mean, I was going to, like, that's the benefit of, like, rolling in with just this basically the same squad. Like, I forget, like, what year it was since whatever year, like, way long ago, I think in the 80s, but it's, like, the most amount of returning players from a championship squad in so long. And it definitely feels like that. It feels like we're, like, building on kind of the momentum we had going last year and what really took us to the mountaintop. And then, we just lost Brissett. That's it. Kind of just, and then our younger pieces are just getting better because we're all so young. It's just, I don't know, it's just like perfect. I feel like this is like the season we're waiting for because obviously we like getting into the championship and winning it is a sweet ride, but I already can tell the beginning of the season is what we've all been waiting for. The reigning champ season is great because you've already like proven it. And now we're kind of just kicking ass and like not worried about like if we can get the monkey off our back. I'm like having such a fun time already this season. It's going to be awesome.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. That's exactly my take for the start of the season is that win or lose, like, it's all cake now, man. It is truly all cake. It's like, I know this team can win a championship. I saw them do it. So that's not a question anymore. It's not like, if you lose to the Pistons, it's like, actually, does the team suck now? It's like, no, we just had a bad night. And that happens in the NBA. Whereas last year and the year before, it just seemed like a roller coaster of emotions, being like, okay, does this team actually have what it takes? That question's already been resolved. There is no doubt about it. And so I'm having a lot of fun in the regular season here, just watching the guys go out and play. My only thing is that I just want everybody to stay healthy, obviously, and that's already seeming to be kind of an issue with Jaylen Brown. But, whatever. I think we have it down to an exact science here, especially with Porzingis not playing for the first half of the season probably. We have our load management pretty much down pat, probably better than anybody else in the league, besides the Clippers, whose load management is we just don't play at all.
The Sixers.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just fun. I mean, it has been a great start to the season. And my biggest takeaway from the first 6 games comes from the loss, the one loss. They were down so big early, and they continued. They had every reason. It's the beginning of the year. They're on the road in Indiana. Just this is the team. This game means a lot to the other side because this is a team that lost in the Eastern Conference, or we beat in the Eastern Conference Finals. Like, it's an emotional game for them. They had every reason to pack it in, but they didn't. They dug deep in the third and fourth quarter and forced an overtime, which they ended up losing by 3. But, to even have that type of gonads or go after whatever the motto, the mentality, that's and they said it on the talk radio show, and I agree 100%. That's championship DNA stuff right there. That is like, like we can't. Just so you guys know, I know this means a lot to you, but we're still on a different level. If when we want to, we're taking this game from you. Yeah. So I do think it's just, it's sit back, enjoy the ride. I'm hoping Tatum goes for the MVP, although it's there's a lot of things going into it that count against him that probably shouldn't. We'll talk about, but yeah. Other than that, it's the hell like the Knicks. The first opening game against the Knicks, banner night, huge emotional night. They creamed the new look Knicks. Creamed.
Mm-hmm.
Wasn't even close.
I mean, like you were saying with like the I think the Tatum MVP odds are if we're gonna have kind of some Jalen health issues and KP not out, I think he's gonna have to carry some load. So maybe this early trajectory kind of means Tatum's odds for MVP should be taken more seriously, because if Brown has to chill a bit, Tatum continues on this trajectory, and I think he could average around 30 again, like he did like 2 years ago. What was it, 2 years ago, and he averaged 30?
Yeah, he's the only Celtic ever to do it.
Yeah, I think he could do it again if everyone else, like, because Tatum really is an Iron Man, knock on wood. But like if he's our rock this year and we're like badass reigning champs, and like it really is him that's been consistent, everyone else has kind of been switching in and out with injuries, and he plays like 70 games. Like I feel like even with our super team we are, if we don't have KP the most of the year, maybe they'll actually treat that as a real injury this year. We didn't really get much credit in the postseason for winning without KP, but maybe Tatum will get credit for being the center on the team a lot of the minutes this year, because he's gonna.
He's averaging like 8 boards. He's averaging 8 boards already. Like or around it, 7.5.
And now gets older.
Yep. Although you have the emergence of guys like I do think Luke Cornett is like sneaky, really making a name for himself in the league, like as a solid big. Like a bench big. He's never going to be like unless he develops that 3-point shot out of the blue, he's never going to be like a starter. But he is a valuable center in the league. I can't believe I'm saying it, because Steve wanted him cut basically for the past 5 years.
I love him this year.
Yeah, what did you see from Luke last night?
The way that he's been playing this year, he could be a starter. He does everything. He's an extremely intelligent defender. Like, he never really fouls. He deals with the big ball. He's fine. He rebounds the hell out of the ball. He runs that short roll on the pick and roll like perfectly every single time. He'll catch that thing. He turns. He finds the open 3-point shooter, and that gets to a second pass to an even more open 3-point shooter. And it's all because he understands his screening angles, how to roll, when to ghost the screen and just roll out of it. Him and Tatum have unbelievable chemistry. I think that him and the only person with more chemistry with Tatum is probably Al. And that's just because Al's played with him when he was a kid, and now Al's playing with him when he's grown, so it's kind of different.
Yeah.
But like he's unbelievable. He's been so good. He had 19 last night against the Hornets. And I know it's the Hornets, but Luke Cornett's not supposed to be putting up 19 on anybody. He was 6 of 6 from the field, and I think he had like 7 free throws. He was 7 for 7 for the line.
And the Hornets do have 2 good centers, and Nick Richards and
they didn't play though, so.
Richards didn't play?
No, neither one.
He played the first game.
They played the first game, and they did play the second.
What about is Mark Williams played?
No, he hasn't played yet this year either.
I think he was unavailable. Like I think he'd played this year, just not for us. Like not against us.
They've already been dealing with injuries. The first game, Brandon Miller got hurt. He missed the next like 5.
Yeah.
So I mean, they've been dealing with it already over there, which is tough for a team that's already as strapped for talent as they are.
Also, hand up on Brandon Miller. I was so low on him because he didn't seem to care about basketball, but he's for real. Hopefully he can stay healthy, but they definitely were right to choose him over Scoot, it looks like. Hopefully, I don't just wish it, like, being like, oh, his second year already done, but Scoot doesn't have that too many, like, valuable skills at the moment. He's kind of just, like, can take, I don't even know, honestly, what he's that good at, like, mid-range and layups and being kind of fast.
Yeah, hard to say.
Yeah, that's a weird draft. But What one thing I was gonna say about Luke Cornett is that you see the whole the NBA video of like Derek White and him going around asking people ACT scores, and Luke Cornett had a 35, which is like unfathomable. So I mean that's why he's so smart. I guess he has like the highest in the NBA.
Yeah, he
That
did like
they were like going around asking if anyone had higher than Luke's, and I guess Derek White was like saying they like couldn't.
I took the ACT. I don't even remember
Yeah,
what I got, but it wasn't no goddamn 35.
yeah.
I don't even. What is it out
I,
of? I forget.
I thought it isn't. It's out of a weird number. Is it? Is it out of like a 36? I don't know why that's
I
coming
think
to
it
me.
is, dude.
Yeah,
Let me
I
go.
think
I'll
it's like
look
out
it
of
up.
36. I think I got like a. I don't even know, like a 17.
I mean,
Because it's so bad.
shit, I haven't
Yeah,
taken
dude.
a
The highest
test
is
with an,
36.
I haven't taken a test with an acronym since fucking high school taking MCAS. Like, you know.
Jeez, man, my whole life's been standardized tests. But that's besides the point, I guess. um,
So yeah,
y-
he got one less than perfect. So we should not doubt Luke Cornett. He got 35 out of 36 in the ACT. So and he's 7 feet tall. If you're
future
that
coach
smart,
Luke Cornett,
and yeah,
I can
yeah,
definitely see
for
him coaching somewhere. I can definitely see him being a bench coach somewhere.
vibes
post
guy.
career for sure.
He's also very much liked and funny. Not only like I feel like he's like honestly I couldn't before this year and the year before. Honestly, last year was pretty decent too. But before then, it honestly seemed like we kept around because everyone loved him so damn much, and he wasn't gonna ever take over the minimum. But now it's like now we got him on the minimum. It seems like a steal, not just a vibes guy.
Absolutely.
Yeah, him and Al, both their dads played together on the Bucks in like the '80s or something like that. So
Damn,
that's
that's a crazy
weird one.
fact.
Yeah, now they're both playing together on the Celtics winning championships. So
Wow.
That picture is sick. I've seen that. Tito's huge too.
he
They
was
look like they're both
monster.
obviously huge. They're both centers, so their dads are centers, and it's pretty hilarious.
Tito walking in with fucking Al, and Tito makes him look small. It's unbelievable.
The one thing I will say about Luke is that he does. I don't know. It's just a observation. You guys can disagree with me if you want. But for a guy who's 7'2" and I don't know, probably what 250 pounds, like he moves pretty smooth. Like he is up and down the floor. He hustles. He's got. I think that's a huge part of his game is the hustle, and that shows on the boards and on defense, like you've been talking about,
Yeah.
and on those like setting the picks and rolling to the basket, getting those oops and stuff. Like he does. He's just an athlete. He's a great athlete, and I think that's partially why he's stuck around for as long as he has. Not to mention a guy like Neemias Queta, who is, I mean, shown real flashes here as another backup center. I mean, what do we think about our guy Neemias?
Oh man, his offensive rebounding has been unbelievable this year. He's got to be averaging like 4 or 5 offensive rebounds a game. He's got to finish a little bit better around the rim. Like some of these, he's kind of missing some bunnies, but I think it's a little bit of nerves. But him and Luke's confidence are going through the sky, through the ceiling right now because it's they know they're going to get minutes because you know you're not Porzingis out. You know Al's sitting back to backs.
Yeah,
Like you know your name's going to get called every night, and you're getting reps, and you're getting reps with the first team. Your confidence is going up. Nemi's defense this year has been unbelievable. Like he used to be a foul merchant. Like he used to foul the hell out of everybody every single time. He couldn't stay on the floor because he would foul and goaltend. And he hasn't goaltended yet this year, and his fouls are going down.
did you
Imagine him in
see
the
him
FIBA
going at?
rules.
You see him going at Miles Bridges the other night
Oh yeah, yeah.
in the
pulled him on
first
his
game.
head. Yeah, and he put him on his head and looked at him, and Miles Bridges was like, "What the fuck?" And it's
He
like,
was, but they were going at like Miles Bridges was pissed. You could tell.
"Oh yeah, but fuck him."
Don't want to get on his bad side.
Dude,
Yeah, I think
honestly,
that we're all right.
dude,
I think that we're all right. I don't think we have to worry about being on his bad side.
Yeah, true.
no, we're a fan club. I think it's important.
No, we're
if
not
with this-
Miles Bridges fan club.
I was talking about Keita. No, Miles Bridges. No, he's awful. But
Oh,
it's important, honestly, to talk with the bench this much because when it comes to starters, it's like, what else is there to be said other than maybe like some awards that they could maybe get? But like the bench is really what's going to carry us, like to get us to like the number 1 seed in a year with like the injury issues and like to. I mean, that's what really got us to the next level too, because like we were able to have like almost an 8-man or 9-man rotation in the playoffs last year, which is kind of surprising with Hauser and like X-Man and like honestly way more of the bench played last year than I thought that I would end up playing. So I feel like honestly the bench is like what I look forward to watching every game. Obviously I want like Tatum and everyone to go off, but like I'm like really like once Peyton Pritchard and like Hauser and Keita and Cornette, like once they get minutes is when I really like sit up on my seat this year because I already like know how awesome our starters are. I just kind of interested in the development of our bench players.
You know you're in a really good spot when your biggest question in the offseason is can you replace O'Shea Brissett?
Svi Mihailovic, who's gonna get Svi Mihailovic's fucking first shot as soon as he touches the ball? Like,
Yeah, for real. It's like it's who's going to take those minutes and can we get productivity out of our 8th and 9th man? And the answer is, yeah, probably. I mean, with the way the Celtics develop players, yeah, it looks like we can do that.
Got Jordan Walsh too now.
Who's getting real minutes?
yeah, the bench is gonna be so important this year because you're gonna have a lot of nights where like we're gonna be like, hey, like even this hip flexor that Jalen's having a problem with, like this is something last year he probably would have played through. Like he would be like, all right, like we got a few days off in the next week. I'll just play through it until then to make it work. But now, like I said, you're playing for the playoffs. Now, hey, Jalen, just go sit down a couple games. We'll have Jordan Walsh will play because he's been absolutely killing it and his confidence is going through the roof. And then Hauser's playing great. Like, yeah, here, we'll get some scoring from Hauser and spread the floor. And Pritchard, he's tied for 4th in the league with threes with 29. Like, yeah, hey, Pritchard, go. Like,
Second most points off the bench in the league besides Trey Mann, right?
yeah, he's averaging over a steal a game, too, to go along with it. Like, hey, we can find your production on the bench this year. And, like, these guys are getting good minutes. At some point, we're going to have to tell Tatum to go sit down because if you don't, he'll play all 82 because that's just how he is. And they're just going to have to say, hey, Tatum, you stubbed your toe yesterday. We know you did. Please sit down.
And that's Missoula's. It's really funny you said that because Missoula was talking about it on Zolak and Bertrand. He's just like they were talking about load management because I don't Paul George, right? He's like not playing. Kawhi's not showing up to start the year.
Paul George got an injury, so I give him a pass on that. He had a knee bruise in the preseason when he hyperextended his knee. So
Yeah,
I thought he blew something out of his knee. So
yeah, and then like you got the Sixers, like
Embiid's load managing already. Like we know Embiid is just load managing. Like come on.
Yeah, right. So the question was posed to Joe, like how the Celtics don't seem to conform to this, and Missoula's response was, "I got guys that can play. I'm really lucky. Like I got guys that want to play the game, in every single game. Like Tatum wants to show out in Charlotte on a second night of a back-to-back. Like it's that mindset, and not a lot of guys in the league anymore seem to have that. And that's what really makes this team fun to root for on a night-to-night basis, because you're going to get an effort.
I think Tatum likes to play against Charlotte so much because he's averaging 38 points a game in the last 8 games against them. So I think he's like, hey, I really like these games. I look good in these games. These guys suck.
They just got no answer for him.
Has he had like 250 burgers there?
What'd you say?
He might have had. He's had 150 burger. I know that, but has he had 2? Like, is that why it's so high at 38? I feel like he's had like 2, like at least maybe 2 50-point games against the Hornets.
He's got a couple 40s, I think, and a 50.
Yeah.
I mean, even like this one, he had 37 and 29, so it wasn't even like these. He had a stinker. He had 29 points against the Hornets. It was a bad game for him. He had 29 points on 15 shots. Like, oh, Tatum, you really sunk the ship on that one, bud.
It's one of his worst games this year.
Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you one guy who's had enough of Jason Tatum in Charlotte, and that's Grant Williams. I mean, what the hell, man? That's our guy. What is he doing?
That was fucking weird. I mean,
Why would he do that?
I heard it described because you can't do a take foul anymore. So he's trying to do the classic take foul, slow down their offense because they were trying to catch back up at the end of the game and get down 3 at the time or something. But the problem is you can't do that because now it's free throws and the ball if you have a take foul. So he's just trying to go over there and bump him to give the foul but not have it look like a take foul. But Grant's just a big dummy and it was just running too fast and ended up just shoulder checking him like he was a cornerback trying to knock the receiver out of bounds.
Seriously,
it just looked bad, and the response was phenomenal from the Celtics, top to bottom. Tatum did his
from everybody
thing when he's pissed, where he just gets up, just get the hell off me. I'm gonna go to the line and knock down
walks to the line.
Jalen was up on the bench screaming, the guys on the floor were behind Tatum.
No, Jalen got in Grant's face.
It was great. It was unbelievable.
The government officials.
Yeah.
Two government
That,
officials battling. Aren't they both in the union? I think they are.
the MVPA, yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah, it was. I think it was great. I don't, obviously, what the hell, Grant? What are you doing? But he's prone to make plays.
Boneheaded mistakes.
Yeah, plays like that sometimes. Just it's the Grant Williams experience.
I won't forget the 27 against the Bucks, though. I'll never forget that.
We'll always have that.
I like how that. The Celtics lore is always built with like random guys like that, like Kelly Olynyk, Game 7 against the
Dude, I
Wizards.
was just about to say that.
Yeah, like,
That Wizards
like,
game was the best thing ever, dude.
yeah, that was such a fun series. I would go back and watch that series 1 through 7. Isaiah Thomas going off for like 50 in one of those games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was great.
When he had that and remember that crazy. I think he had 50 in one of the playoff games almost, and then I think he had a double clutch shot on the way down when one of the Morris brothers fouled him. I don't even.
Yeah.
He was just disgusting.
He crossed him up at the free throw line, and then he got hit on the way up and double clutched.
Yeah.
Fucking
It's a
wild.
5'9" man floating against 6'8" people. Speaking of the Morris thing, that Grant foul kind of remind me of the very very peaceful version of the Jokic Morris one, where
Yeah.
it was just basically Morris is way more intense than Grant and Jokic is way more intense than Tatum, so it's just way more peaceful. They just both walked away and it was a little heated, but if you want both sides to be way more aggressive, that's what you gotta go watch that tape. Very similar hit though, it's just that different guys.
Running into the yeah. Just as a non sequitur, just to keep it moving here, Trey Mann. I was watching him in the first game. He just reminds me of Isaiah Thomas, like the Celtics Isaiah Thomas. Maybe because he's undersized, but he's fearless at taking it to the rack, and he's a flamethrower at times. I really I don't know how it's going to work with him and LaMelo, but I do like the piece, the player, and his, I don't know, just Isaiah Thomas. I don't know what you got, if you got anything on that, but
I mean, he's shifty like Isaiah too. Is he a lefty too? I can't remember.
I don't know.
I don't think he is.
I don't know.
But I think the fit actually with LaMelo is pretty good because Trey Man's a really good 3-point shooter, so he can play off the ball. And LaMelo, as we've seen, is prone to fouling. He fouled out of one of the games. This is your leading guy, this is your superstar, and he's fouling out of games. Not good for your guard, especially. A guard's not supposed to foul out. A big man, yeah, he's supposed to protect the paint, but a guard's not supposed to foul out. But
No.
get some foul trouble, you got Trey
Very
Mann.
on brand though.
It is very on brand for him. He does not play with his brain very much. He's just out there.
Just
It's kinda
imagine
fun
the
to watch.
picture of him on the go-kart on the roof. That's what's
Yeah, I
going on in
know.
his brain. That's what's going on in his brain when he's playing.
What a weirdo, dude.
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of fun to watch when you're not invested in the Hornets. I tell you what, if I was
I
Yeah,
love the vibes of the jerseys too. They perfectly match the color scheme. I honestly like the street ball vibes of the jersey with the Charlotte Hornets. I want the ballers on that team. It's kind of fun.
and Trey
Yeah.
Mann wears all the oversized shit too. He looks like he wears a jersey that's for me or Cody. And he's got the shorts that are down to past his knees, which nobody does anymore. He really does hoop it's the early 2000s.
Cornrows headband too. It looks like AI.
Yeah, he does. Just another thing, LaMelo immediately stepping under Tatum after the Grant play. Come on, man. That's what I'm saying. That shit's Bush League.
Yeah, that was a little. I don't think that was LaMelo trying to get back at anything, because that's a play that LaMelo shoots a lot of threes too. A lot of people would just do that to him. I think LaMelo's just not very intelligent as a defender, and I think that he really thought that he could block Jason Tatum jump shot. It was
I was just about to say, does he have jester's privilege? I think he does.
yeah.
I think it's almost like Jameis Winston doing a bad thing. Would be I don't think he meant it, man.
I just don't think
Yeah.
I don't think that the wires connected right on that one.
I think LaMelo just does whatever the fuck he wants to. He doesn't seem like he orchestrates his game much. He's just seems like he's just been playing shooting weirdly for his whole life, so he just can do it at any level.
His shot is ugly.
Yeah, but it's
Oof.
money though. I think it was like
Yeah, it
6 of
is.
14 in one of the games. So I mean, shit,
He,
I can't go 6 of 14 shooting fucking free throws, and like he's
I
doing
can't go
that.
6 of 14 doing right-handed layups.
Dude, he's like shooting like one-legged fadeaway threes, like letting them. It's like, how am I gonna say anything bad about this? Like it's money.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah, I
it's the
mean,
perfect spot for him too. There's no pressure in Charlotte. Like if they lose, nobody gives a shit. If they win, oh hell yeah, we won. Great job, Lamelo. Like
yeah, but that kind of sucks. I don't know. It's just that's like NBA purgatory.
yeah, but for him, he's getting max contracts and super max contracts, and
Oh
there's
yeah,
no
for him,
pressure, just hooping. Like it's
he doesn't care.
he's one of those guys.
LeVar's
That's
pumped.
But if I
someday.
was a Charlotte Hornet fan, I would care.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Charlotte Hornet fan, it's like you're a Charlotte
They
Hornet
just
fan. You
extended
know what to
bridges,
expect.
dude.
It's like at least you're not the Bobcats anymore. Is all I got to say about that. Like 7-win seasons.
Yeah. So while we're on Tatum, non sequitur here, just keeping it moving. That's the third time I've used that word today.
Sequitur's a big word. Can you spell that for me?
Non sequitur.
Is
So
it
that
one
means
word or is it 2 words?
it's
Non-dash sequitur, or is it?
non-dash. Yeah.
So what's
Is that
sequitur?
one word or 2 word? Or is that 1.5 words?
I don't know. I'm not gonna argue with you. Whichever one you say. You're the lawyer here.
It just means something that doesn't follow the line of conversation. Tatum's MVP campaign. The Stars averaging 30 points per game, 4.5 assists per game, 7.5 rebounds per game, shooting 48% from the field, and 34% from three. Right now, as of today, he's plus 500 in third place behind Luka and SGA to win it. And Jokic is right behind him. So, he's in great company. I would say he has an honest chance. I do think he has an honest chance. He's just not. I think the odds makers are betting heavily on Luka and SGA this year. They think it's going to go to a guard. What do we think?
I mean, like I think the assist numbers got to come up a little bit. Like if you want, like 4.5 assists, you're getting 30, but like. I mean, shit. Last year, I think Luke was averaging like 33, 7, and 7 or something like that when he finished the year, and like he didn't get an MVP. So I think that if you can get to like 36 and 7 for the year, and I think if we can break 60 wins again, and you play a majority of those games, with Porzingis being out until December, and Jalen maybe missing some time, guys missing back to backs with Al, and I think Drew's gonna be. I think they're gonna really slow down Drew a lot too. Like there was a game already; they only played 19 minutes in, so like they're already coming back on his minutes. So he might miss some time with some phantom injuries too. So I think if all of those things come into fruition, and he's averaging 36 and 7 on a 60-win team, coming off of a title last year, I think that he has a legit shot at it.
So you think he has to average 3 more assists per game?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 more assists per game. Which I mean, if like Jalen sits a lot more games and Drew sits a lot more games, then he's going to be the primary playmaker, and that's gonna. I think the numbers will come up.
Is there any way he can win it not based solely off the stats? Like on the stat lines? Because I just don't. He's only ever averaged in his career 3.5 assists per
He had
game
5 assists last year.
last year, but his career average is 3.5. So
Yeah.
he's on pace for last year, at least with the assists. Like he's like I can
About
see him
4.5,
averaging 5.
Yeah.
If he's more of a power forward, like if the rebounds go up more too, if he's like closer to 10, maybe you excuse it because it's like 5 assists and power forward 30. Maybe you could, because like we don't talk about that with like Giannis. Like if you get Giannis gets 5, you're like, holy shit, that's amazing. I feel like if the exact trajectory of his stat line happens the rest of the year and he's that efficient from shooting, I think he would win it right now. To be honest, like if he has this line going and we have this winning percentage, like I honestly feel like Luka. What are their stats to start? Are they on par with this? I feel like Luka had a couple bad games. I mean, yeah, Luka. He's 27, 8, and 6. So technically, like at the moment, Tatum is filling it up a bit more.
I
Yeah,
He gets good
SGA
starting
is
goals.
SGA is 26.5, 6.7, and 6.5. So basically,
Tatum is leading them, but then but you said Jokic is behind them. Like, what's Jokic averaging right now? Because Jokic the other night had like 16 and 15 or something like that, which is just banana land numbers.
yeah,
Well, yeah,
Jokic is
he's leading in
20
everything. Yeah.
29.8, 12.3 boards, and 9.8 assists.
Yeah, and
And
behind Tatum.
he's a lot more efficient.
Yeah.
Well,
That's the
they would
kind
just
of
have to
crazy
win.
shit.
Yeah.
That's what it comes down to because people are gonna start looking at the advanced stats, and if you look at the numbers with Jokic off the floor versus on the floor, it's unbelievable. Like when he's off the floor, they're a lottery team. When he's on the floor, they're like a top.
They're
three.
like still a lottery team.
Well, they're like a top 3 offense anyways. Like you can't really do much about the defense, but the narrative is what's gonna kill Tatum. And then because we all know all these awards are narrative based.
You think so?
And they're gonna look at unless the guys are going down, like I said, and guys are skipping or not skipping, but they're getting load managed and everything like that. Like, I think the narrative's still gonna be like, oh look what Shea did with a young team, because look at
He's
Shea.
older. Isn't he older than Tatum?
No, I'm saying with a young team. Like he's still technically 3 months younger than Tatum, but the team is younger than the Celtics. And they're not coming off of a championship. And his third option is Jalen Williams, and Tatum's third option is Kristaps Porzingis. So it's
Who's not playing for a whole half a year?
Yeah, but what I'm saying is if Tatum's numbers stay the same and we end up with a close number of wins, because the seeding matters for MVP a lot of times. It shouldn't because guys put up crazy numbers and drag terrible teams into the playoffs. We should be rewarding high seeds because their team is really good. Unless it is off of one guy like a LeBron or something. But the narrative for Tatum is just going to be, oh, he plays on a super team. His buckets are easier than everybody else's. If he has a bad night, they still win, but he looks good.
He's at least defeated it this far, but I agree. That is definitely a path that I mean. Who's to say what happens? But I feel like thus far, I feel like the chatter has been. I feel like no one's been talking shit on Tatum at all this year because there's not really been any. You know what I mean? Have you noticed any Tatum shit talking?
Well, no, just the Olympics was pretty tough for him.
Yeah,
but
yeah. But I mean, he's already at least. I feel like he's doing great. He's kind of carrying us this year. So I feel like if this continues, it's almost like that noise goes down. But I agree. As soon as another player on our team has a huge month, if Jaylen Brown wins Player of the Week ever, or once that happens, once anyone else picks up crazy on our team, then I feel like it comes back. I feel like right now we're skating by, and everyone's pretty positive about Tatum because he's kind of clearly the number one player on the team so far this year. But yeah, once anyone else shows out there, I feel like they're going to come out the woodwork.
You see, I get what you guys are saying. I could see your point of view. I think if anything, the narrative is going to save Tatum or give him an actual shot because I don't think he's going to get anywhere near the numbers as the last 3 guys the SGA, the other contenders. Maybe not anywhere near, but he's not going to come. He's not going to get those numbers. He's not going to be leading in any of the categories, maybe points, but most likely not.
No, that's
the thing is, SJ has the same thing. SJ is basically the Tatum of the West, where it's SJ is probably not going to average more than 6 assists or 6 rebounds. He's probably just going to have 36 and 6, and has to be the number 1 seed in the West. I don't really see, especially with their team getting better. I don't really Chet and Jalen Williams are taking way more shots, I assume, this year. I think those odds are a little silly for Shea, in my opinion. I think Shea is what Tatum experienced the last 2 years. And I think Tatum's finally on the other end of that. But I feel like you're saying how they're the young team, but it's I feel like they're all going to be kind of grasping for the shots, and I feel like they almost they don't have the injury problems I don't think that we have to start this year, and kind of feel like it'll be too spread out this Thunder season for Shea to win MVP, unless they want to give unless they want to give it to the best player on the best team, which they could have done for Tatum last year. But I feel like the numbers, I don't think he's gonna have better numbers than Tatum. Luka and the Joker, yes, those Slavic dudes are gonna get 30, 10, and 10 for the rest of their life. But
they're just gonna roll out of bed and get 30. It's unbelievable.
Because who else is going to do it on their teams?
Yeah, I
Especially
mean, like,
the
look,
Nuggets.
if Luka's averaging like 30, like he's gonna average like 32, 8 assists, and like 7 boards or something like that. And the Mavericks are gonna be like a number 3 seed in the West, and everybody's gonna say the West is so much harder. Then I think they're gonna give it to Luka. Because you know
Which is
Kyrie's
fine.
gonna miss time at some point, and you know Clay's gonna miss time because he's old, and Luka's still gonna be putting up crazy numbers.
I mean,
Because the narrative's always gonna be, oh well, you can't double Tatum ever, because look at the rest of the team. And then yeah, all the rest of these guys can get doubled because look at the rest of their teams. And they're still putting up the same numbers as Tatum. So their buckets are harder, their job's harder, they have to carry more than Tatum does. So I think that's the narrative that's going to get pushed back. Even though us watching the Celtics, we know that Tatum gets doubled every time he touches the damn ball.
yeah, it was
He's
just like
never
that.
been
Just feels
found.
like
He's never seen less than 3 sets of eyes on him with the ball since he's been in the league, basically. But the narrative is never going to be that way. Like it's always narrative. Like I always
But that's
bring
so
up,
stupid. Like the Tatum's averaging these numbers on a good team. That just means more mouths have to get fed.
and he's
That doesn't mean that,
yeah.
and
No,
he's still the head honcho.
I agree with you, but the narrative's always going to twist it that way. Like we all know it's just narrative. I mean, like Marcus, I always bring it up. Marcus All winning a depoy and then being a second team All NBA player. Like
Same with Tyson
one of
Chandler.
these narratives don't match with the other one. Like I don't know what to tell you. Like how are you the best defensive player in the league, but there's 5 guys that are better than you? Like
I don't know.
They
It's
just didn't want to
they're-
give it to LeBron.
I don't. I mean, I feel like this is probably his. This is probably Tatum's this year or next season is probably his only chance to win it.
I think a couple years
Yeah.
down the line. I think maybe 2 or 3 years down the line. Because
I mean, you're like in the prime Wemby time now.
yeah, but then you're also if you're looking 2 or 3 years down the line, you're also looking at maybe Drew's gone, maybe Porzingis is gone. You know, all of a sudden the ball has to be in Tatum's hand, and now he's gonna be trying to go for these crazy numbers to win every night.
How many seasons?
Like 2 or 3, I think, down the line. Because Drew's
Maybe.
got they both got about 3 or 4 seasons left, but I think Drew in his last year, I think they might end up trading him because
There's no way
tax
they can keep this whole
purposes
team. Yeah.
and everything like that. And he's the biggest contract on one of the oldest guys. And then, look, knock on wood that it never happens, but if the Celtics rack off a few more championships, then maybe Jalen says, hey, I've done it with you, let's see if I can do it without you. And then maybe it's just Tatum and his own team, so then he's going to really be putting up some crazy fucking numbers. Because we've seen the nights where it's just Tatum out there, and we've seen what he did. Like, that Nets series a couple years ago, even though we got swept, he had a 50 burger against them, I think, and because Jalen was hurt with his hand, and like, we got swept that one because they were just KD in the Nets. But we saw how dominant Tatum was in that series.
Was that the year that Brown cut his hand gardening? No.
No, he broke his hand. He like broke it. He fell or something like that, like in the last week of the season or something like
I
that.
think the year he cut his hand gardening, we swept the Nets.
Yeah, and then I think we played the Heat that year too, and then it was
Yeah.
a really tough series because he was hurt.
yeah.
Yeah, I think it's just stupid. Narrative-based awards are stupid, and that's why I'm stupid because I bet on all of them.
And speaking of, on to the next award, a guy who I actually think has a legitimate chance. Not that Tatum doesn't have a legitimate chance, because he does, but a more likely chance is Peyton Pritchard as the sixth man of the year. He is also in third place at plus 500, averaging 15.7 points per game, 3 rebounds, 2.6 assists, and a steal per game. Can he contend? Can he keep this pace going? Can he beat out the likes of, who did I have? Oh,
Trey
Malik
Mann.
Monk and Benedict Mathurin.
Trey Mann, I mean,
Trey Mann, yeah.
he's right now. Trey Mann's leading the league in points off the bench. So
Yep.
Yeah, where's Naz Reid in the mix? He won it last year.
is he starting now? Because now they got rid of Cat.
I think Randall has been started, but maybe they just figure he'll start a lot because Randall will sit because Randall never really plays full years, so like maybe they're just kind of assuming that he'll start too much.
Yeah,
Isn't it a contract year for Randall?
Yeah, we
Yeah,
know how
maybe-
Randall
maybe he'll
plays
play
in
82.
so-
Yeah, but do we think that? Who do you like? So you're thinking Naz. Naz is probably going to be the back to back here.
I feel like they're gonna need him to be, honestly, if they're losing Cat. I feel like he's so important for like reviving the space, honestly.
Yeah.
But no, I don't know. I don't know if it's honestly a weak generation for six man. When you like read that list out, I was like, it's either we're about to get new staples of the game, you know what I mean? Like all those names are it's kind of uncharted territory for so many of these guys. I mean, Malik Monk's been in the mix too, but like we had like Jamal Crawford and Lou Will just wrestling back and forth for like a decade basically. So it's like kind of interesting we don't have that anymore. I feel like everyone's like young guns. Like who's going to be the next great six man? Basically, is what I'm trying to think of. Could be Peyton
Why couldn't Peyton be that?
dude, if he stays here, and we'll have people that are good enough to start over him for a while. That'd be amazing. I think Peyton
His
could
money,
win it.
his shot is so money, man.
Yeah, he's
I think he could do
Confidence,
it.
dude. He's so
Yeah.
confident this year.
him and Jason Tatum are really gonna fuck up my parlay. I tell you what, because those motherfuckers might come home with those trophies. 'Cause I got Jaime Jaquez winning six man of the year for the Heat. So I feel like he really can fit in well in that team and come off the bench, and like they're rewarding six men now for starting games too. I know you have to come off the bench for X amount to win the award, but like they're looking at your stats when you start too, because that is really what a six man is. It's not always coming off the bench; it's spot starting when you need it, fitting into with the top guys. I know that Jaime could do that with the Heat. I mean, Jimmy's going to play all year because he's in a contract year. Terry's going to play all year because he was hurt last year. You know, he's going to be coming off the bench behind probably Bam and what they got, Jovic?
Nikola Jovic.
Yeah, another one of Slavs. Like, I think he could really be impactful on that team with his playmaking and with his shooting. I thought that he could have been like a dark horse to really pull away with that one. I haven't really been keeping up with what his numbers are this year, but
To start the year, I would have totally agreed. I just think the Heat are going to blow it up. So so maybe if he stays a bench player on the Heat after, but I like seeing the postseason last year. I totally was like thinking Jaime should be like a dark horse for this, but I just have no idea if he's included in a trade or like ends up starting because of it. I just think I think it's a contract year for Jimmy, and I think that means they actually trade him instead of him doing good. I don't know. It just the vibes are so bad there. I watched like
Heat
two
vibes are
games.
dead.
Dude, it's so like I watched two games and I like actually like I don't think I'm tuning into the Heat game until they trade someone or we're playing them. Otherwise, I'm like this is like the worst product. I'm like this is like I don't even know.
I think Bill Simmons ranked on his preseason like top. He ranks like the best league pass teams. I think Miami was like one of the last picks. Like they truly are not. They are just not a very watchable team. I mean, whether they're good or not is, I guess, up for debate too. But like their style of ball sucks. It's not good.
they don't really have a flashy player on the team. They have a bunch of like construction workers basically. Like go out there, they're gonna get the job done. It doesn't matter how pretty it is, it's gonna get done. So like you're not tuning in. Like not a lot of people are on fucking YouTube watching Bam Adebayo highlights. Like,
Yeah, I know.
you're not out there looking for Jimmy Butler highlights unless he's hitting game winners. Like
I think
mean,
Jaime has that
Terry-
potential, but I agree.
Yeah, Jaime's got the potential to throw some crazy passes and do some weird stuff like that. That's fun to watch.
Crafty.
But like, he's a bench guy. He's a crafty bench guy. I feel like he could really mold himself into like a Manu Ginobili type of role in the league for a long time, where he starts. He's good enough to start, and he does start a lot. But he's going to be mostly coming off the bench.
Yeah, it just seems they're a bit rudderless. You know, what are they doing? Are they They contending? Are they going to blow it up? What are they doing?
They trade him for
Can't
pieces.
answer.
I think because they got this. They got some. They're good at drafting. They got the other Joker. They got this Ware. The center they drafted is looks like he'll be great too. The Ware, like I think
Kalon
Keon
Ware.
Ware. Yeah. And then Jaime, like if they kept Hero, and I don't know. I feel like they're just great at drafting. I feel like they would if they traded Jimmy for anything and they kept Bam, they would be like pretty damn good in like 2 years already. Like it would be a fast rebuild. Because if these rookies are this good and they would keep like people that are already developed in Hero and Bam and I don't know. I feel like if they trade Jimmy for anything young or like I don't know, that'd be pretty smart. Also, praying that happens because get the fuck out of here, Heat.
Just go.
I don't want to.
Just go
I don't want to
west.
think about you. Yeah, right.
Trade Jimmy Butler west, please.
Not back to the Sixers though. I don't need that because I think that'd save them somehow.
Ooh, what if he goes? What if he goes to the Mavs?
For the
Well, I thought
Lakers,
about him going to the Lakers,
yeah.
which is a weird fit because like if you're gonna
Yeah,
play
what
with
that?
Braun,
They're
you
all
need to
they're a
be
team of
shooter.
all forwards and
Yeah, you
D'Angelo
need to
Russell.
be a shooter to play with Braun, and he's not a shooter. I mean, that guy's a good bench piece, but like, are you really gonna trade for a guy on a max contract and then put him on the bench?
Well, people are talking about what if they did the Dame thing now for Jimmy? Just as, like they're talking about this on the Troy Weather show. Just a straight Dame for Jimmy swap.
Both
That's
teams
a
lose.
that's a 6 seed, buddy.
Both teams lose in that situation.
No, I know it. Well, they're both losing already.
Hey, let's go fuck up the spacing for Giannis even more, and then hey, let's get even worse on defense for the Heat. Like,
Well, it'd either be like so bad with Jimmy and Giannis, or like you throw two pit bulls in a room and then they like plotted to dominate the world together. Like they make like what it like. It's either they like one walks out like almost dead and they killed each other, or like they're like, holy crap, why did we let Jimmy Butler and Giannis on the same team? Like that could be the other reality too.
Yeah, it's like it's like two uranium bombs. Like they're either gonna join for the most powerful bomb, or they're gonna just destroy each other. It's like when two like planets. I can't think of a good analogy. The unstoppable force and the immovable object. Whatever. Anyways, moving on. Rookie of the year.
I mean, I had Zach Edey. I don't know how well. I don't think he's really playing all that well for Memphis right now.
This is the worst rookie of the year.
I was gonna say he's playing well enough. Yeah,
I can name one other rookie. And
Who?
Grady Dick. That's it. He's not even.
He's not a rookie.
He's the guy I'm thinking.
You're a fucking dumbass.
No, who's the kid? No, the white kid that got drafted to Houston.
Oh, Reed Shepherd.
Reed Shepherd, yeah.
He was a good pick preseason, but he's not really looking like a good pick anymore. I think Edie's still probably the best pick, which is he's not even going that crazy. But
I don't know. You ever pick anybody that was going to Houston for a rookie of the year? Like those guys, all the guys in Houston are all young and they're all trying to get their shots. Like they're not going to give the rookie the ball.
yeah, he would have to be like special to be taking shots from Jalen Green rookie year.
Well, Edie's tied with Zachary Reese-Shea. Connect and Sarr tied in second, and Stephon Castle's in third, and the rest is the field.
Those are all players. Yeah, I agree.
Huh?
Those are all players.
I mean, the only person that I've really put time into watching so far has been Sarr because he played us, and I thought he was actually all right. I tweeted it. I was like, I don't know what the Wizards got cooking. I don't know if it's good. I don't know if it's bad. It seems bad, but
I know
they got something going on the stove. And Stephon Castle is he's just not going to, I mean, maybe he gets a decent burn, but Vassell, he's going to be under Devin Vassell.
I think if Connect
So,
can average, I think if you can average over like 10 points, and like the Lakers are like keeping this up, where like JJ like they're like in the top half of the West. I think Connect could get loved if the class is so bad and they're just like decent and he scores like 10 plus off the bench. It could be that bad of a class where just like a decent bench rookie gets it.
Yeah,
honestly.
There's much to say about the rookies this year. There's no standouts. There's no Victors. There's no Jaws. There's nothing like that going on.
I'm going to bet Reese-Shea wins. What about you? Pick one.
I got Edey in my parlay, so.
What do you got?
I'd go Edey just because I think the Grizzlies will be good and like he'll just get rebounds and points.
I thought him and Jao would connect pretty well. I think over the course of the year, and then you got Smart too, who's a good setup man for big guys.
Did you see that like jaw tape from the other night? Like he's better with Edey already. Like there was like at least like 4 lobs in that to Edey. So they are connecting. Jaw's ooping everyone this year. He has some great. He's been like just the Grizzlies are probably they have to be number one in the watching list because they like it feels like all their big men are athletic as hell right now.
Yeah, they're definitely a good league pass team.
Yeah, I agree. Most improved player.
I had Evan Mobley. I thought that was a good bet. Seeing him play against us last year for the Cavs without Jared Allen and just seeing the way that they gave him the ball, let him do whatever he wanted to do, and how well he played was very impressive to me. I know the Celtics kind of just did the whole thing where it's like, all right, let him get his. He's not going to shoot threes. But he still was scoring on us pretty easily, even though we have all NBA level defenders on the team. I think if he can develop that three ball a little bit more, he'll really flourish, and I think his playmaking's really gotten a lot better this year too. So I think that he can really take that next step for that Cavs team and really take them to the next level.
Interesting take. That's been the thing with Mobley, if he can shoot the ball consistently.
I mean, it's a bet that people have been trying to make for the last couple of years, and he never has. So I'm just going to hop on that train late and then be wrong, just like everybody else. It's going to be great.
I hope you are wrong, because I don't want to see him do that, because I think it could be curtains for the rest of us.
Also, I don't think you are wrong based on the start of the Cavs so far, because he's been fantastic and they're 6-0. So maybe you might be right on the money with that pick so far, Steve. I don't think he's had like a crazy jump though. He's just been better and like more efficient. Like I don't think he's like really, because he's not like he averaged in the high teens of points. So it'd be hard for him to actually get like a crazy points per game boost. But I think
so. Right now he's in 5th place to win this award.
Who do they have above him right now?
LaMelo and Jalen Green are tied.
LaMelo's going to get a most improved player. How's that going to work?
Cade Cunningham and Bilal Coulibaly are tied for 2nd.
Mm.
And then it's Mobley, so I guess he's in 3rd place, but he's the 5th name on the list.
Cade makes sense because they could be better this year, and
I mean, Cade and LaMelo only make sense because they just didn't play last year. Like Cade missed like half the year, and LaMelo missed half the year. So if their improvement is being on the court, then yeah, they're both going to improve. But
I mean, how many 5x5 games does Wemby have to achieve this year before he just wins it?
just to average a 5x5 to get the most improved player, like they already fucked it up one time.
If he averages a 5x5, he's going to win MVP.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he'll get MVP, he'll get most improved player, he'll get depoy. Like he's going to get every award that they have. They're going to give him a 6-man just because they can, because he's going to play like there's 6 people on the floor when he's on there. But like, they already fucked up once and gave the most improved player to Ja, who was a number 1 overall pick. And like in his 2nd year, they gave him a most improved player. Like I don't think they're gonna do that again with like Cade Cunningham or LaMelo's been in the league for a while. I don't think he's gonna get much better than he is now. I mean, he's lighting the world on fire right now. He's averaging like 30 a game or something like that. But like I don't think that lasts the whole season.
We'll see.
Pritchard.
I guess we'll see.
Pritchard, MIP, 6-man. If he wins 6-man, how would he not be the most improved?
Yeah, exactly.
Because if you actually think about the actual true definition, if Peyton goes from he was great last year, but if he goes to 6-man a year from like 9th on our bench, that'd be fucking crazy.
Yeah, it would. It would.
That's a good bet too. Yeah.
But he's not listed. I don't know why. I think Jalen Johnson's a sneaky good pick too, because he was so good last year, and if he becomes better,
a Pods guy. If Curry's out a lot, Brandon Pods.
Yeah.
Kuminga.
I like Pods because he's a rebounding guard. He's like a dude that averages like 6 or 7 rebounds.
So is Pritchard. Well, he doesn't average that much, but he is a rebounding guard.
He's sneaky good on the offensive rebounds. The Celtics love doing that shit where they crash from the corners to go get offensive rebounds, and it works like almost every time.
But I'd always try to do it, roll my ankle to oblivion.
So give me your pick, Steve. You got Mobley.
Yeah.
Jacob.
I got Mobley too.
I'll go Jalen Johnson, throwing a dart, because I don't
Most
know.
improved player is the biggest dart out of all of the fucking.
I don't even know how clutch player is evaluated.
It's like scoring in the 4th quarter, and then they have the clutch time. It's less than 5 minutes within 5 points or something like that, or less than 2 minutes within 5 points is considered clutch time. So they'll get your averages off of that too, and that'll be another great narrative fucking one for them to complain about. This guy was unbelievable.
Because I feel like Trae Young could win that award, but nobody's going to care because he's on the Atlanta Hawks.
And it's also like the best players on the best teams are not going to be eligible for that because they're not going to be playing crunch time because the fucking team's going to get blown out.
Interesting that you say that. But we got another award to tackle before we jump to that one. Depoy.
You know, I got Vic in that one, but he's the favorite, so it's not really a tough pick. He hasn't looked great so far this year, but I think that he's gonna really step it up. Like you said, 5x5 games. He's already got one this year.
He's got two.
He only has one this year, but he has one last year.
No. Doesn't he have two? He's like he's
Two
joined
total, but he doesn't have two this year. He has two total.
the. Oh, I read it
There's
wrong.
only like three players that have ever had two total or something like that, and one of them is Andrei Kirilenko because that's one of those random fucking ones where it's like, hey, this
It's
guy.
bar trivia.
Yeah, it
Also,
is.
it's funny to be like, oh, he's not doing as good. I looked it up. He's like, goddamn, he's averaging he's averaging 18, 10, and 3 blocks. So I think he's doing pretty good.
Yeah, that guy sucks.
He's averaging 3 blocks. And that's like him having a slow start, dude. He's just on like as long as he's healthy, he should get it. Really.
What is Chet at in terms of blocks? Because he's second, but Wemby is the favorite by a decent margin.
On negative money too on a fucking singular award for the end of the year is pretty wild.
Chet's had 3 blocks already this year. They're basically like matched right now, and people are just like they shouldn't be like Victor shouldn't be this clear of a runaway. They just expect like Victor to they expect Chet to go down and Victor to go up. But right now they're basically matching each other.
Yeah, it's one of those early season like we were talking about Jokic's numbers earlier. Like I don't think he's going to average 29, 12, and 10 for the entire year. I mean, he could because it's Jokic, but like at some point the water's going to find its level.
Hartenstein comes back too. Like Hartenstein's been injured, so like he'll get some blocks and rebounds.
No love for the older guys, Anthony Davis or Evan Mobley. You think this is a two horse race?
If I was going to give it to somebody other than those two, it would have been Bam Adebayo. I think I think he's right behind Mobley. I think he's better than Mobley and Anthony Davis as a defender. To be honest, I think Anthony Davis gets a little bit overrated as a defender.
Anthony Davis is getting MVP odds.
Yeah, that's fucking stupid. I can't respect that.
Just Venmo me if you wanted to waste money.
I'll put your bets in for you. Just send them over to me.
Technically he's having MVP numbers so far, but yeah, it's not going to hold. He has had a crazy start. To be fair, he's averaging like 30 and like 12 or something.
There's two
games last year. He's going to play about 50 this year. Like he's not
yeah.
It's a two-step inquiry into if you should put money on Anthony Davis to win that award. One, is he going to play more than 50 games?
65, I think, is the bar.
Is he going to play more than that? And that's maybe at best. And the other one is he going to average the rest? Is he going to do that for the rest of the year? And that's probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
He shockingly played the games last year. People don't talk about it. He played 70.
Him and LeBron played like 70-plus games each.
Yeah. And Davis played his most games like since he was like a 20-year-old last year, low-key.
Yeah. And then they stumbled into the playoffs, and then they got gentlemen swept by the Nuggets in the first round. But then like I'm supposed to take them seriously, and like ESPN's going to talk about them like they're going to do something. Like they're not a serious organization right now. But they haven't been a serious organization since they traded for Russ. And
That's
Russ is
very
all
good.
blamed for that for some fucking reason. Like Russ plays how he plays. It's not his fault he got put on a team where he doesn't fit.
I don't know. I think it's been since they've had D'Lo. I just don't think you can win with D'Angelo Russell on your team.
That's a strong point. I'm not going to argue with you on that one.
Yeah.
The second coming of D'Lo to the Lakers.
Clutch Player Award. Let me give you the names. Jokic, the front runner. Ant behind him. Harden behind them. KD behind all of them, and then Tyrese. That's the name of the plausible. Yeah. Not Tyrese Gibson. Tyrese Halliburton.
I would
I
have
know if it's Tyrese Maxey. I mean,
Yeah, true. Damn it. Fair point.
Tyrese Maxey also another guy that maybe you can give most improved player to. I mean, the kid, he's going to get the ball a lot this year. Paul George is never going to play. Joel Embiid's never going to play. It's going to be, hey, Tyrese, take 35 shots a night.
That's why he'd be good for the Clutch Player Award because I could see him closing out a lot of games just because of how fragile their stars are. And he's a beast. He seems like especially clutch too. Like not just like every time we play him in the clutch, fucking feels like it. That's for sure. But Jokic, I feel like that's a pretty obvious. I mean, I think he's an obvious favorite for sure. If this is what the team's going to be like all year, and they're going to be like, it's felt like he's been the clutch player of the year. That's for sure. They won back-to-back overtime games this year on his backs already. So it's like to start, it's already been seeming like a Jokic award this year. No MVP, but he gets that maybe. But I don't know. Who else would you say? But first, when you were talking about players like historically doing it, it made me just remember Isaiah Thomas. Do you remember when we had the best clutch player in the league? Like the most that was the best period ever when I think didn't he average like top 5 season of all time for fourth quarter points or something like that? Like
Yeah,
over
crazy.
I think it was over 10 a
Crazy
game.
stat.
I think he averaged over 10 fourth quarter points a game that year. I think it was like 10.4. Yeah.
I think it was 12. Like he was averaging in the fourth quarter every game.
Has to
You
be
knew where
out
the ball
there.
was going, and you just couldn't do anything about it.
Because we were just that good enough to like not be blowing people out, but always be in every game.
Oh yeah. Oh
Like you were
yeah, I
saying,
remember.
Tatum would never get it, but
Yeah.
It's always going to be too far ahead in every game. Like they're not going to be playing clutch time minutes most of the time. Like that was the thing last year. Everybody was bitching about before we went to the playoffs. Like, oh, do we really know how good they are? Like they don't play clutch time minutes. It's like, yeah, because we're so good that we beat everybody, so that we don't have to play clutch time minutes. Like, what a fucking stupid argument that was.
yeah, then we were ice in the clutch.
So who do we think's gonna win it?
Oh, this is a fucking dartboard. Can I pick DeMar DeRozan again?
If you want, I don't
He won
know.
it last year, right?
I'm gonna say Ant's gonna win it.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see that too.
He's
I'm just
the
going
only
Jokic just
offensive
so
player on
he
that team,
carries.
so-
So let's parlay. Well, let's go back real quick. Defensive Player of the Year. I'm Victor.
I'm
Jacob,
Victor.
you're Victor. We're all Victor. Okay.
Yeah.
MVP. Who are we?
I got Luca.
Jacob?
Tatum. I'm going Tatum.
I'm gonna go Luca. I know I wanted to say Tatum. I wanted to join you, but I couldn't do it. I think they're gonna give it to Luca. They've been deeming him the favorite for years now, and
It's about his time.
seems like it's gonna be his time. Coach of the Year.
I got Taylor Jenkins out of the Grizzlies.
Atkinson's the favorite. Our guy Joe Maz behind him. JJ Redick behind them. Bud behind all of them, and then Dagnall, last year's winner.
Wow, so Jenkins is not even on there. Wow.
I mean, he might.
Deep
I cut
cut.
it off after like 5 names.
Deep cut for me. Tell me.
That's
I'm
a good
I
one,
could,
though.
I could see it. Yeah.
I mean, they're all
Didn't he
gonna be
already
healthy.
win it?
No, he didn't win
No,
it.
he
'cause
was
they-
top 3 or something. He's always been deserving.
Well, they're going to be healthy this year. I think they're going to make a real big splash in the West. I think they're really going to surprise some people.
Interesting. Yeah, and if you can keep John Morant
Keep his head on straight, yeah. And
together, yeah.
And if you can have him not try and jump over every 7-footer that he sees, like, hey, John, it's okay to take a floater once in a while, dude. Like, I swear, it's okay. It counts the same amount of points.
Dude loves absorbing contact. He loves meeting people at the mountaintop and shooting on the way down. That's his like drug.
It's so much fun to watch, but I mean, Jesus Christ, his career is going to be really short if he doesn't figure out how to not do that every single time.
People are gonna stop fantasizing about 2011 Derrick Rose and just start watching the Grizzlies games. Just be like, if you want to see that level of fun, dude, that's how fucking fun. I've watched 3 of the games this year, and John Morant is like literally a walking highlight every. It's ridiculous. That he threw an oop from his ass.
That was hilarious. That was
He's gonna
Yeah,
post you
I can see
those.
why the new generation of guys they love him.
yeah.
They love like the youngins. They love John Morant. Me personally, he's entertaining. I wouldn't want him to be my number 1 superstar.
No,
That's a
not at
scary
all.
prospect.
Not at all.
And it's not just for his off the court antics, which I mean definitely you have to factor in, but it's just I don't love his game to win championships consistently at least.
He's like injury prone too.
Yeah.
That's the part that worries me the most about him.
So you're going Taylor Jenkins. Jacob, you're going who?
I'm going. I'm going Atkinson. I think the Cavs finished like the second seed this year.
Really
Yeah. I mean,
interesting.
at the start is helping that, but I honestly I think the Knicks are just going to be banged up all year. I think the Bucks and Sixers will too, and I think the Magic are already. I just think the Cavs have enough ammo to like stay second or third seed the whole year compared to the other
Interesting.
teams.
I'm gonna go our guy Joe Mass. You know, whether he's talking about bringing fighting back to the NBA or giving challenge coins out to 5 people as a society. The more off the rocker he's getting, the I like it. Let's just get weird. I mean, let's not get too weird, but let's get weird. And yeah, the Celtics are going to be the best team in the NBA, and he's the coach, and he won the championship last year. If they do it again, well, if they dominate again the regular season, I don't see how he doesn't get it.
Yeah. I'd
Yeah.
like to see it. I'm not going to put my money on it, but I'd like to see it. I think he's going to have.
Well, you're putting your money on a guy who's getting like plus 150,000 odds.
No, because I like to spend money and not make money. But
If I
it's
dude,
gonna
if
be the same, there's gonna be the same narrative as Tatum. Like, hey, like in Joe, you got a super team. Like you got 3 All NBA level players in Porzingis, Brown, and Tatum, and then you got 2 All NBA level defenders. Or you really got 5 All NBA level defenders for your entire starting group, and then you have Al Horford and Sam Hauser and apparently the 6th man of the year coming off of your bench too. Like, how can we give this guy an award with the team that he has?
yeah.
I mean, granted, it was like 4, but like Spoelstra never got a coach of the year, and he had the Heat for the years that he was winning.
Is that true?
He's never won one.
No, I don't think. Yeah, I think
Not
you're
even
right.
when he had LeBron in the Heat.
What?
Not even when he was dragging like dog shit teams to the playoffs every year. Like he still never won a coach of the
Yo,
year.
that's crazy.
So I don't think
Yeah,
that
he
they're
wasn't
gonna skip
respected when he had it.
Spoelstra or anybody to give Missoula a one when he's got the super team.
No. Yeah,
I hate that.
they were talking about that. Like, he could be the new Spoelstra where they don't respect him, so the dynasty's over, and then you're like winning with worse teams, but you should have won when you're. It's almost I heard that combo too. It's very like seems like that's gonna be the case. But I
all
honestly would
last year we were talking. All last year we were talking about how he's getting the keys to a Ferrari, and the only reason if they don't win is because of him, and they won. And if
But they
they're
didn't win
poised to
because
do
of
it
him.
again,
They didn't win
Huh?
because of him, is what the argument's going to be. They won because of the players.
well,
Yeah.
Ime couldn't do it.
Also, if you
Well,
look at the stats, I think isn't like the out of break possession stats like we're just disgustingly good at like all the things that are in. I think it's like all the it's like
Yeah.
all the things that in like all half court we like lead by like 10 points per 100 possessions in half court or something. Like I think we're like and all the things that could be coached we're disgusting at. But yeah, I agree, Steve. It's just always gonna be like that. I think.
I'm not saying that he doesn't deserve the Coach of the Year award. I don't think that I'm not saying that he shouldn't be in the running, but I'm just saying the narrative base. Like if you're gonna put your money on something in the NBA with a narrative, like you got to understand, like the narrative when you have a super team is that those guys don't get individual awards. Like
You also
LeBron
look at
wasn't
where he
even,
was.
other than LeBron with the Heat, that one year we got the MVP when it was just like undoubtedly like this guy is the greatest thing to ever touch this planet when it comes to basketball. Like those guys don't get that love.
Well, I'll be sick if Kenny Atkinson wins it. I'll be sick.
I me too, because I got money on Hendricks. So
Taylor Hendricks, Taylor
Yeah,
Jenkins.
You also you gotta think about it. What really is shitty is that you have to look at where the preseason rankings lied, because you just gotta think that all these writers aren't going to admit that they're being really stupid before the season started. Like they're all too egotistical to be like, wait, our 13th best coach is actually the coach of the year this year because they ranked didn't they rank Joe as like 13th in the league?
yeah,
Pretty
they're
true.
11th or something like that.
I don't think they're going to admit they were that
Carlisle.
wrong. Yeah,
They had multiple coaches that he beat in the playoffs last
Yeah.
year above him.
yeah.
You have guys like Nick Wrong doubling down on their takes. Like Celtics
Yeah.
are actually bad for basketball. Like they're actually not good. You know, like it's people, I don't know what the Celtics. They obviously won't be winning a championship that will stop the hate, but the Celtics, they're actually terrible. Did you know that? I didn't. I didn't.
Bad for the sport.
Yeah, bad for the sport. They make giving basketball a bad name.
I remember the Warriors are bad for the
Wow.
sport too.
Yeah,
That was the
I
thing.
know,
That
right?
did happen. Like, and I was probably on that camp too because I was like, "We're not winning these championships," but now that we're winning, I'm like, "No, we're not bad for the sport." But
I hated it too. I hated it
yeah,
too at first, admittedly. But
yeah.
yeah, now it's that the Celtics are doing it. I was never.
Well, we're
You
all
can't believe
used
it.
to it now too. That was like the
Oh
most
yeah,
shocking change ever when like when they were launching like
yeah. That they
players are like,
changed the game. The Splash Brothers changed the game, like
yeah.
for good.
But the part that the the way that the Celtics are looked at for ruining the league is not our fault. It's the other teams that are trying to copy us that aren't as good as us. That's the problem.
Yeah,
Like you're trying to play 5-out offense and you got guys that can't shoot more than 25% from three. Like that's not our fault that you're trying to be us, but you can't. Like play your brand of basketball. Don't play ours. You can't keep up.
I played
yeah.
with
The
the
Celtics
Magic.
brand of basketball is really fun with Jason Tatum and Jalen Brown. It's not fun with Cam Thomas.
Like this the fucking Magic should not be trying to swing the ball around the perimeter to try and get open threes. Like we don't have this. Jalen Suggs should not be shooting that wing three off the double team. Like
We have like five
Yeah,
people
no.
on our team who could average over 40% from three this year. So yeah, they're not like us.
How long? How
Six,
long is?
seven.
How long is Banchero out? Not to kill any momentum we were having there.
2 or 3 weeks? I think. And he's gonna
Oh,
get reevaluated.
only? Really? I don't know. I thought
Yeah,
6.
I thought I saw 2 or 3 weeks, then a reevaluation, and then they said it usually ends up taking about 6 weeks. I think that's what
Okay,
I
I
saw.
mean,
What is
yeah.
it again?
Torn oblique.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, which is not good. That's one that they're gonna take their time with him too. Like whatever the timetable is, count on it being longer than that
Yeah.
because there's no point in rushing him back.
Yeah, that's why I hope Jalen Brown just takes 2 weeks off.
That's what I'm saying. Like last year, this is an injury I think he would have played with. This year, like take your time. Like who cares? We're not playing for the regular season.
Yeah, like don't.
How's your
It's
time?
the hip. Don't even screw with it. Just ice it. We'll see you in 2 weeks.
Jordan Walsh time, baby.
Yeah.
Yes.
Speaking of being put on ice, I guess Joel Embiid tension with the Philadelphia media. It seems to be at an all-time high with his recent comments being like, "I've done with everything I've done for the city. I shouldn't be getting. Do you say I shouldn't be getting booed or something like that? You know,
Something like that.
yeah, he shouldn't be getting criticized as harshly as he does. And then recently, he had issues with a reporter from the Philadelphia Inquirer who made comments about his late brother and son. And he apparently got into a shoving altercation with him.
Mm-hmm.
What do we think?
Reporter off the rip. Like, there's no reason to be bringing up the guy's brother who died in a car accident and like his son. Like, don't be bringing up family and do like a hit piece about Joel Embiid's availability on the court. Like, those things are not correlated in any way, shape, or form.
Yeah,
Like, there was no reason for you to bring that up. And
yeah,
all all the shit that I've seen on Twitter from everybody from around Philadelphia is that reporter's like a shitbag anyways. Like, he's always trying to stir something up. He's always just trying to fucking pull some shit on somebody. Like, that's all I've ever heard about it. So good for Joel Embiid for putting his foot down on it, but unfortunately it's a really bad look for him because the story's never going to be, oh, this is what the reporter said. It's always going to be Joel Embiid pushed the reporter.
yeah, yeah. Like I know he's upset. You need to not do that. You're Joel Embiid. You know It's hard. I'm not. Who's to say if somebody did that to me, how I would react? But like, you know, it's exactly what you just said. Like, you can't. The story's never going to be you were so enraged by the outrageous comments by the reporter, and the reporter deserved it, even though he does deserve it. It's going to be Joel Embiid, the guy who never shows up in the playoffs, whatever. Head case, he's going at it at the media, and that's not fair to him. But that's just what it's going to be. And yeah, like I agree. Fuck that reporter. I had smirked because the story's not that funny. It's just that I could see like Tony Maserati being like this,
Yeah.
the Boston version of that.
Yeah, for sure, dude.
Just like being a real fucking
A
shitbag.
curmudgeon from yeah.
Oh
No,
my
Yeah,
god.
saying, go ahead.
I was gonna say like I remember when I saw the quote he was saying like I've done so much for this fucking city. I was like, all right, Joe, chill a little. You're getting paid 50 million to like be injured a lot. But but then obviously, so there is stuff you can critique Joe for, but obviously that reporters you should only be about on court stuff. Like what was that guy thinking of? But yeah, it just that guy deserved to be pushed, but. I feel like Joel won an MVP. Unfortunately, like when you get to that level of like he's an automatic Hall of Famer already. Once you're that level of status, like you can't be doing that. But it's like if LeBron did it, like who cares how or Giannis, like or Jokic, who cares how like it's almost like with the Jokic like Morris thing with like how like Morris clearly did a push, but everyone kind of was like, "You're an MVP, you can't be doing that." Like when they had a push back and forth, and Morris like I don't even. But like when basically once you get to that level, you just can't be doing the same thing. But obviously, he would have deserved it if he's talking shit about someone's family for no damn reason.
He Everything he does is now under the microscope because he's a top 5 player in the NBA. Like
Yeah.
it's just the fact of the matter, and he's always going to be the first name in the story unless he's fighting the other 4 guys ahead of him. You know,
Like what Embiid does either makes or could lose the NBA a lot of money. He's that important to the sport now. So him getting if like that's why it's so important. Like if Embiid was to get suspended for times he could have played, that actually loses the NBA a lot of money since he's a top 5 player. It's kind of he's like so important to the league now.
is he going to get suspended?
No, I don't. I think will he? I
I
don't
don't
even
think it
know.
matters. He's not going to play whether he's suspended or not.
That is true. He'll be like, "Oh, fine. Oh, yeah, I'm suspended. Okay."
It's like in the MLB when they give the pitchers the same amount of games of suspension in a fight as like the first baseman. It's like, yeah, that pitcher just missed like a game, and the first baseman just missed like 6. Like,
Yeah,
there's levels to this.
that's true. That's funny.
Does
But
anyone have to pay a fine to miss these games? Let's
it's
go.
also like you also just put a target on your back too, because like now
Absolutely.
everybody knows, hey, if I poke you the right way, I get a reaction out of you, and that's a story, and I can make money off of that. I can get
And
clicks off of that.
and I feel like, and not that I know, but just from what I've heard, like these big markets, they're the sports reporters. They're like a very insular community. They're very, and I know like this reporter seems like a shitbag, and I know other reporters have come out against him, but I guarantee he has allies in other publications that are like waiting to take his side on things or to go against Joel, and it's just
Or just like TMZ paparazzi is that popular. You could just have like now just anyone on the world is like can record him with a phone, walk up to him and say shit.
yeah. I mean, just another Philadelphia athlete who's done something real crazy live is Jason Kelsey. You guys see that?
Yeah,
Yeah.
he smashed that guy's phone. That was pretty cool.
I don't know.
He deserved that for sure.
Obviously, he was defending his brother because the guy was insulting his brother, calling him a slur. But he said it back, and like he's receiving scrutiny for smashing his phone. But I'm not to equate the two things. It's just that my first point with Joel Embiid is that I guess ultimately my question is, could this be the slick to the skids on his way out of Philadelphia? Like, is his eventual dissension out of Philadelphia? Because I feel like it's going to happen. Philadelphia, I feel like the fans are just going to get so sick of him after a while.
I
And
think
he's gonna
the
be-
fans, for the most part, are fine with him. I mean, like without him, they're really shit. Like if you look back at the last couple of years, like how many games have they won when he doesn't play?
Well, counterpoint. He's 30. He's a center with his injury history as long as the Bible, and they just got him an even older teammate who has an even longer injury history. Like
I think the
This
fans
is-
are going
this-
to look more at the front office for that.
this experiment that they have going in Philadelphia has at most 2 seasons.
I think it's got one
Yeah, Paul
before
George
before
especially.
he asked for a trade. Not
You
even
think
before
so?
they ask him up before he asked for a trade.
Well, then what are we doing here? Like they don't have the cupboard's bare. They don't have much to trade. I don't think.
No, I'm saying Joel Embiid's going to ask out of Philly.
Oh yeah,
I
absolutely.
think if at the end of the year, if they don't make a deep playoff run, and if they don't really make some noise, I think he asks out. I think if it's
Oh yeah,
another second round exit, I think that he says, "Hey, I don't want to play it anymore." Like the media is shit here.
yeah,
Like you guys have done really. To be honest, the Sixers organization hasn't really done much to help them. They gave Tobias Harris a max contract, and they brought in James Harden at 38 years old. Like that's like the most help they've given him over the years. Like two guys that choke in the playoffs to go along with him.
yeah.
It's like, why does he want to be there anymore? What have they done to help him?
So yeah, you would ultimately agree that this is just another
This is,
layer of grease added to the skid.
snowball is getting bigger as it goes
Yeah.
down the hill until eventually it's going to hit a parked car, and that's going to be Joel Embiid leaving.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean, as
I
a
hope so.
guy, as a guy in the East, I love it. But I do like JoJo. I do like him as a guy and as a player. So I
Hey,
do want.
I'll take him on the Celtics if he wants to leave Philly. You want to come over to the Celtics? We'll swap you out Drew Holiday for fucking Joel Embiid. And
We'll trade you Drew and Kristaps Porzingis
No, that's too much.
in 2 years.
Yeah, that's too much. Still,
No, you think so?
yeah. Like you said, the guy's got an injury history longer than the Bible. He's going to be 33 at that point.
Okay, Peyton Pritchard.
Oh, hell no.
Kate's
That's
under pressure.
perennial Sixth Man of the Year, Peyton Pritchard.
Hey, we've done that before. A guard wins Sixth Man of the Year, and then he's shipped out of town the next season.
Yeah, we have done that.
Shout out to Malcolm. That's all I got, guys. I think an hour and 20 is enough of the pod for the boys and girls.
Yeah, I think so too. We don't have much to discuss other than just positive vibes from Celtics too.
I mean,
And I'm slowly transitioning from football to the NBA season. I can't.
I wonder why.
Time is very limited. Well, yeah. This game basically was the knife in the roast for me.
I was
It's
very happy with the outcome of that game, to be honest. Like I said,
Honestly, I am too, dude.
we got the roller coaster. I was legitimately screaming, ripping out my hair. That's why I'm bald now. When Drake May scored that touchdown, and then the overtime was just a fucking
they just ran it down our fucking throats.
Yeah.
Overtime.
But we're supposed to lose though, so to have an exciting moment that's promising in a loss is kind of what we want, right?
yeah, and that's what I said. I said football's finally fun again.
Yeah.
I mean,
Like
you have an
he showed
exciting
us that he can
quarterback.
have magical moments from, you know what I mean? But
He's good.
yeah.
I think he's just outright good. I mean, despite some of he made rookie mistakes for sure with those interceptions, but
That's just the
gonna happen.
growing pains, and it's great that you have those rookie mistakes on a team with no,
no help.
you have no, no thoughts of winning a championship this year with him. Like, there's no pressure of anything. Like, you didn't build a great team around him, and he's making rookie mistakes and slowing you down. You're like, all right, cool. We make rookie mistakes and we lose. All right, we get a better draft pick. Like, and then next week you can learn from it, and then you can get better.
yeah. Ultimately, the talent's there, and you can see it with him. Other news. Next time you hear from us, you'll have a new You'll have a new presidential elect. Hopefully, it's the vice president. Don't forget to vote, guys and girls.
Go vote Tuesday.
Tuesday.
That might be when this episode drops. Who knows?
Unless you were planning to vote for the team, man, then just forget about it. Then don't vote.
Yeah.
Then stay home. We don't need you.
Get COVID or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah, just set this one out. But yeah. So be nice to each other. Enjoy the Celtics. It's a great
It's hard not to
time.
fucking enjoy the Celtics. You gotta
It's
be a
really
real
hard.
American.
It's if you
You
want to
gotta
just
work for
kill
fucking-
2 hours and have a great time, watch the Celtics.
You got to work for 98.5 to not fucking enjoy the Celtics.
Yeah, for real. Then you're contractually obligated to hate them.
You're contractually obligated to hate sunshine, puppies, chocolate, Celtics, the Patriots, the Bruins, the Red Sox,
Anything that's good, winning, makes people happy.
newborn babies. You know,
You guys know the Tom Brady, Bill Belichick Patriots actually were bad?
yeah, just not
I
that
found
good.
that out.
Joe Mazzulla is actually not a good coach, and the
Yeah.
Celtics last year just weren't that good. Like, let's be real here.
JT and JB hate each other, and they're gonna split.
Oh yeah. Well, my favorite was after we lost a game, and like Jaylen Brown and Jason Tatum walked into a game together the night before, which they don't usually do. Then we lost that night, And it was like, oh, well, they're just doing this for us. Like, they're just doing that to show us media that they like each other. Now look at that. They lost because of it. It's like, I don't think they give a shit what people. I think it just happened to be that they came to the fucking arena at the same time. And they're like, yeah, let's get this shit done tonight. Like,
Yeah, this shit's stupid.
it's not about you, dude. Like, Truman Show ass fucking radio stations.
But like we said, enjoy it. Be nice to each other. Go vote. And let's go C's.
Go
Yes,
see
sir.
us.
Banner
next week.
19.
Love you guys.
Banner 19 loading. Bye, guys.